presents the Samstown Hotel, Casino, and Bowling Center Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour. It's the Summer Tour. Welcome to the Rocket City Challenge. We're here at the AMF Penn Palace in Huntsville, Alabama. Hi everyone, I'm Leila Wagner, and working with me once again is Jan Schmidt. Jan, this week these players look very good. They're very young but very talented. They each hold at least one national title.
And in their few years, they've gained a lot of experience. We have Michelle Mullen, who's a Team USA coach. We have the past 3 Rookies of the Year. And we also have Carolyn Doran, who's bowled very well lately.
Well, Carolyn Doran has had the hot hand lately, but our top 4 players had the hot hand all week. They were actually in the top 5 from the start of the tournament till late last night, with the exception of Tammy Turner. Normally, Jan, you would think that these players had a lock on these lanes, but that isn't really the case, is it?
No, it's not, and especially yesterday. All these 4 players said that they really just tried to grind it out. They weren't sure they'd be able to stay in the show. They didn't know where to play, and they weren't confident they were playing the right area or using the right equipment. They all said they're coming out here tonight with really no idea what they're going to do. I'm looking to see 50 to 100 bowling balls sitting out here in the settee area. So it should be really interesting.
Wow. Well, Carolyn Doran looked like she had the biggest run last night or yesterday. She went from 12th to 5th. Does she have the best chance for the show then tonight?
Well, not really. Carolyn didn't really feel like she had a shot either. She said she was also trying to just grind it out. Apparently, she grounded out a little better than the others in order to make that kind of a move, but she was just as lost as everybody else.
Well, we'll have to see if any of our players can get comfortable tonight. We'll be starting out with our first match, Marianne Dupo and Carolyn Doran. And Carolyn Doran is beginning the match. Carolyn Doran, our number 5 qualifier, Marianne Dupo, the number 4 qualifier. It was Marianne's choice whether she wanted to start the match or let Carolyn start it.
And really, this is just so that Carolyn will finish the match, I'm sure. Marianne wants to finish first.
Very direct shot right around the second arrow. Carries the light wall shot.
Carolyn's playing a little farther right tonight than she did earlier in the week. She did jump a little farther right for a few games of match play, but mostly she was in deeper around the 3rd arrow.
And it's Marianne Dupo now up from Secaucus, New Jersey. It's her 3rd year on the tour. And also carries the light hit. Actually, she's been on 3 years. Has 2 national titles.
I think we're going to see a lot of light hits, at least for a while, because the conditioning pattern was very long this week. They buffed the oil to 41 feet, which is a longer condition than we have bowled on in quite a while. So the players, some of them had a little bit of trouble getting enough finish on the ball.
Talked a lot about grinding it out here, but Marianne Dupo averaged 215 for the week. Pretty high averages to make the telecast. And another light hit for the double.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like a grind out average would be, you know, but I think it was more of a pair-to-pair type of grind out. Some pairs you could score really big on, and other pairs you were totally lost. So it was a little bit difficult to get to the right area of the lane from pair to pair.
And big game by Carolyn Doran. Defeated Marianne Dupo in match play 279 to 200. Carolyn Doran averaged 231 in her 2nd round of match play. That was the round she went from 12th to 5th. Coming up light, but does not get the 2-4-5 out.
Didn't look like she got a real good release on that ball. Not quite as much roll as she normally gets. She's going to change to a harder surface bowling ball. She's going to go across lane, or she may play straight at it. She's been doing a lot of that lately down the left side of the lane.
And straight at it she does. And converts to spare.
And Carolyn has a very basic game. She has a 5-step approach, a good start position there, a little bit of a knee bend. Just a good overall compact approach, keeps her out of trouble. Nice backswing about shoulder high. Look at the finish position, strong knee bend, good bend at the hips, and a strong follow through. Solid at the line every single time.
Carolyn's been bowling since she was just 6 years old. Whoa, rips the rack. 5-pin saws out the 7.
Good finish on that ball. Now, I found, and I think some of the players found the right lanes to be tighter. And that seemed to have been true the last 2 weeks. The right lane's a little bit tighter, so Carolyn might have a little trouble getting the ball to finish on lane 28.
Marianne Dupo now up in frame 3, working on a double. Trouble as she leaves the 4-7-10. Interesting approach.
Yeah, it's Marianne's footwork. Pretty quick. Her feet are very fast. Her approach is very short.
Takes 5 steps. Has that little power step in there.
She's actually on a 4-step approach now.
Oh, I counted faster than she. Looked like she threw an extra one in there.
I think she used to take 5, and she switched to 4.
For any particular reason?
No, just timing. Thought she'd feel more comfortable with a 4-step approach.
Was she ever trying to slow up at all?
She hasn't really worked on that.
No.
She's, you know, well, she did mention last night if she could slow her ball speed up, she thinks it would help her, but it's a difficult thing for her to do.
Marianne Dupo now trailing by 5 pins after that split. And bounces back after the open frame in the 3rd frame. Marianne Dupo strikes. She still trails by 5. Well, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Jan, which one do I throw? We'll have to wait to find out which ball these players are throwing when we come back. The championship round finals of the $60,000 Rocket City Challenge are being brought to you by Sports Cream. When you overdo it, massage in Sports Cream for fast relief of sore muscles without embarrassing odor. And by Ebonite, where advanced technology has striking results. And by Fab Ball, makers of hammer bowling balls and accessories. Available in fine pro shops everywhere.
And look at this last shot. Watch Marianne's ball jump this hurdle. There was actually something on the lane. Thing off the sweeper fell. Here's the ball's going to jump up. See it leave the lane? It enters the pocket and all 10 pins go down. Now the ruling on this, because she struck, she will retain that strike. Had she not struck, she would have been able to reshoot her shot because of an obstruction on the lane.
You know, they could actually take a look at that and see if that might be a better angle into the pocket. Here, you're actually higher up into the pins. You know, there might be something to this. Well, and after a little break, Carolyn Doran back to business as she pops back up now with a double. Has a lead by 15 pins.
That was a great shot. You know, normally when a ball does leave the surface like that, it is tougher to carry because the ball is now not gripping the surface and can more easily deflect off of the head pin to the right and not finish through. So I'm really surprised that she did strike on that.
All right, well, Carolyn Doran now leads by 15, can make it 25 if she strikes here in the 5th. Oh, and she does so with style.
It was a great shot. Karen looks like she's really aggressive tonight. She's really into those shots.
Marianne Dupo now having her work cut out for her. Working on a strike, though. You can see the intensity in her eyes. And she answers the call with a double of her own.
Both of these two players are intense. They really rise to the occasion.
Marianne, with an incredible 1994 season, made 5 shows in 1994.
And she doesn't feel she's doing as well as she should this year. She's missed some of the cuts. She says so right now she's set some short-term goals, excuse me, of just making the cut.
And her short-term goal of stringing 3 in a row just worked out. She trails now by just 5 pins.
The shot she just made, she's setting the ball quite a bit right to that dry area around 7th board. Come ripping back. She's having no trouble getting finish on that ball.
Didn't even have to jump anything. 5 career 300 games for Carolyn Doran. She has 2 national titles, 1 singles, and 1 with her doubles partner, Lisa Wagner, who's working as our statistician tonight.
Carolyn appears to have an excellent shot on both lanes.
Yes.
As does Marianne right now. They're both lined up.
I was going to say, it really doesn't seem as if either one of these players, now when we went away to commercial break last time, all those bowling balls down there, nobody's really switching here yet. They look pretty locked into this pair.
Right, but everyone at home needs to understand that they had an hour warm-up on this pair. So as opposed to during the week when you had to move from pair to pair and not even get 1 shot of practice. And that's what made it, I believe, so difficult, is the pairs were so different.
And Carolyn Doran now with 5 in a row. And we'll be back with the $60,000 Rocket City Challenge here from the AMF Pin Palace after these messages. A member of the AMF staff of champions, Marianne Dupo, recently traveled to Taipei with Bob Learn, did a little exhibition over there. That had to be interesting to go all the way to Taipei and bowl. She mention anything to you about that?
No,
that
she
experience?
didn't. No, she didn't even talk about it.
Curious to know what the lanes are like in Taipei. Meanwhile, here she has the lanes figured out. Boy, she could look back to that 3rd frame and say, oh, if I could just have that shot over again.
She appears to be having no trouble getting ball reaction out there, and she said normally she struggles when there's longer oil in the fresh shot, but she's worked on some changes to accommodate that.
She is not struggling here tonight, as she has struck 7 out of 8 times, but unfortunately for her, she still trails this lady getting ready to bowl.
There she's talking to it. Come on, get up. Get up.
And of course, the yes after it carries.
Now, Carolyn was feeling very uncomfortable right before she came on the road. She said she had bowled and bowled and bowled, and 4 days before she came, she didn't feel like her timing was right. Something wasn't just right. Like she got a little slow on that shot.
And as you mentioned, bowled and bowled and bowled. This lady practices nearly 125 games a week. And when she's not on this tour bowling, she is traveling with her fiance, Dale Ballard, on the men's tour. And she does a lot of practicing even when that tour's going on.
Yes, she does. As a matter of fact, that's who she worked with. She went, Dale Ballard and David Smith helped her out with, you know, getting her timing back in. And she said she still just doesn't have the good feeling she had the last 2 swings. But, she, you know, maybe she's pushing a little bit because she's bowling so well.
A quick look at the scoreboard there. As right now, Marianne Dupo, with 1 more strike in the 9th, can take the lead. We have basically a 3-pin match going on. Very close. As you mentioned, Jan, she's been bowling so well. She's had 3 seconds so far this year. That has to be disappointing, too. I mean, as well as you're bowling, you just want to capture that title.
You do, and after I interviewed you, she said, I'm surprised you didn't ask me what I'm going to do if I finish second.
Ooh. Oh, and a little kiss from the 6th pin. Wow, that was a big shot there in the ninth.
This ball's going to finish a little bit late. See, it's still sliding. Now breaks into a roll. Watch the 6-pin. Oh, get down.
All right, the situation is this now with the score. Marianne Dupo can strike out and close out Carolyn Doran. Even though Carolyn Doran can shoot a .258, Marianne Dupo can go to the wall for .265. And there's the one in the ninth. She has only missed one frame so far in this match. It was frame number 3. She went high. She left the 4-7-10. Failed to convert. She's asking now for a re-rack on lane 27.
She must see a pin-off spot down there, or she feels a tough spot, or she wants to take a little more time. Sometimes the players will do that.
All right, 265. Possible score for Marianne Dupo, 258 for Carolyn Doran. Boy, Carolyn Doran, you know, she has an outstanding television average. 222 for her career television average. And once again, she's right up there with that, maintaining that pace yet. Marianne Dupo can still win.
People shoot huge numbers at her. Okay. Marianne could have shut her out with 2 strikes and 4 pins, so now Carolyn's going to have a chance.
Carolyn's going to have to throw the first one in the 10th.
This was a real light hit. She's carried a few of these earlier. Head pin going off the wall, 2-pin, falling straight back. Look at the 5-pin to the left. Misses the 8, doesn't take it out.
Picks up the 9-pin or 8-pin. You'd think I'd know the pin numbers by all these years. I stay home too much. And Carolyn Doran knows now what she has to do. She does look at the scoreboard, doesn't she, Jan? Do you think she knows she has to strike?
I'm sure she knows.
There's a lot of players out here that don't. Oh, great score by Marianne Dupo. 243. Carolyn Doran taking a re-rack now on lane 28. Must have this strike to win.
So a strike and 8 pins would lock it up.
Uh-oh. That's it. Through the nose. Oh. Does not strike. She will not move on. Marianne Dupo will be moving on to match number 2. Carolyn Doran ends up with a 226. Marianne Dupo with 243. Final score of match number 1. Carolyn Doran finishes in 5th place with a check for $2,400. We'll be back. Stay with us after these messages. And it's Marianne Dupo now starting out match number 2. She's taking on Tammy Turner, our number 3 qualifier. Marianne lane breakdown.
Even on the strikes, see the 1 spare and the 1 split, so really she's pretty close.
8 strikes in that match. As she shot 243 to defeat Carolyn Doran to 226. Opens up almost like she finished.
Yeah, really, she's lined up on both lanes. That split came early on when she was still getting comfortable, so she has a good shot, and she's making good shots.
Our reigning Rookie of the Year from West Palm Beach, Florida, Tammy Turner.
She opened up with that big shot right there. Tammy has a very powerful game. Ball's about waist high. She's brought it in tighter to her body, elbows tucked. She has a 5-step approach. Watch, she's low to the line all the way through. Look at that backswing. Well overhead high. A lot of ball speed. Good finish position. Good knee bend.
And a light hit for the double. Jan, both of these players have been compared to each other, and actually I've heard people in the industry talk about their releases and they've said that this is the release of the future for the women and the power players. Do you think this is true?
I still think there's a place for all types of releases. I think that a lot of the new kids coming up are going to learn this type of release because it's taught a lot more, but on many lane conditions, it's still an advantage to have a nice roll on your ball instead of the spin and hit that these players generate.
And Marianne coming up light. Well, you think about the past players, the Judy Sutars, the Betty Morrises, the Cheryl Robinson. I mean, the way they bowled versus the ladies that are coming out nowadays, and it's so different. The Leanne Barrett, you know, how much she can rip the cover off a ball, and then these two ladies.
Yeah, you know, it is changing. It's definitely changing. But I think those other players, if they may have to practice a little more because they're going to have to be more accurate. They can't create the area that these players can. But if they're willing to put in the hard work and effort, I think that they'll have their day. It won't be every week, but they can score on a lot of the conditions out here.
Well, that's true. You look at players like Carolyn Doran and Kim Adler, very straight shooters. Right, Marianne Dupo, strike spare. Strike, frame number 3.
And you mentioned Betty Morris. We wanted to congratulate her. She's been inducted into the Samstown Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour Hall of Fame.
New Hall of Fame that we have just begun this year.
That's right.
And along with that, also Shirley Garms was another inductee. Is that correct?
Yes, she was.
Average this week for Tammy Turner, 215. 6 pin sits in the channel. She shakes her head when she walks back. Both of these ladies, you know, something about their releases, both of them love softball. Tammy Turner, one of her hobbies was softball, and also Marianne Dupo was a fine softball player, almost played like a semi-pro league in South Carolina.
And both of these players generate a lot of speed also. Yeah, Tammy Chain falls there to shoot the spare. Yeah, they're both athletic players. Very strong, although Tammy does have a shoulder injury right now, which has hurt her as far as her strength is concerned. She has tendonitis in the shoulder, and she's had to do some weightlifting, and all that does is maintain a minimum strength. She hasn't been able to build it.
No problem with the shot in the 4th frame. Tammy Turner still with the lead. We'll be back the rest of match number 2 right after these messages. We're back. I'm Leila Wagner along with Jan Schmidt. Marianne Dupo is now up in frame number 4. She's working on a strike. And she doubles, and she takes the lead by just 1 pin. And our sideline reporter, Dana Miller-Mackey, is about to get up close and personal with Carolyn Doran.
We're here with Carolyn Doran. And Carolyn, I'd like to ask you about the board that fell during your match. That's pretty controversial. How do you feel about it?
I'm laughing just thinking about it. You know, I was nervous enough because I didn't feel real confident this week. And, you know, I didn't like sitting there a few minutes. I still made 2 good shots, but I was wondering if the ruling was correct or not. I wasn't sure if she should have bowled it over, so never know.
Well, you bowled a great game, and can we ask you about when the big wedding with millionaire PBA player Dale Ballard's going to be?
First of all, I want to know where all that million is. Second of all, it's going to be either in April or June of '96 as soon as we can figure out one weekend that neither one of us bowl.
Back to you, Leila.
As we talked about her bowling schedule, you heard it. One weekend if they don't bowl. Tammy Turner, wow, slices the rack head pin back off the wall and spinning.
That was a great shot. Ball was finishing really hard. You hate to see it, but those kind of breaks unfortunately do happen.
And that would have given her the lead back by 9, but it doesn't happen. You can see she defeated Marianne Dupo 196 to 178. Tammy coming back off the approach.
And she saw some movement to her side. over where the players were just interviewing, where Dana had just done her interview. They were moving some of the things off for the approach.
Going straight at it. Appeared to shake her up a little bit.
And it's a good thing she made that, because that's a tough thing to overcome. If you get distracted and you miss a spare because of it, it would be tough to overcome. And she backed off. She did the right thing, so she should have been regrouped. So it really shouldn't have cost her anything.
Trailing right now by 11 pin. Wonderful amateur career. Heard her say, come on. She was the 92 Bowling Writers Association Amateur of the Year. Also a Team USA member in 93, and she opted not to bowl the team in 94. She wanted to join the tour.
That's right. She decided to come out here and hopefully have a good year and start making money, and that she did.
Player that never really thought about bowling professionally for a long time. This lady right here, Marianne Dupo, even though she started bowling when she was just 7, she thought about going in different directions. Got her degree in physical therapy or athletic training, that type of thing. She said she watched people like Lisa Wagner win, and she always had a love for the sport, but said maybe someday I'll get out there.
She's done very well. That ball was a little inside a target. She had a little more conditioner than she had before.
And she converts the 2-4-5. Very close match between two very young and talented players, both former, well, Marianne, the former Rookie of the Year, and Tammy Turner, the reigning Rookie of the Year. Marianne right now leading by just 8 pins.
Marianne, I mentioned earlier that she's been trying to do something for when she doesn't score so well on the heavier oil condition, longer patterns. She's trying to generate a little more roll on the ball, stay behind the ball with her hand a little bit longer instead of getting quite so much spin. And it seems to have worked this week. Oh, my.
Whoa. Bad break. Ripping 7-10. Tammy Turner is looking. What do you think she's thinking?
Tammy's thinking, wow, that's a huge break for me. I mean, you have to think that if you're sitting there. Look at this shot. It's going to come in about half pocket. It's actually a light 7, the 5 blue across. 6-pin tapped the 10, but didn't knock it out. Actually, a half pocket 10-pin and a light 7 at the same time. It's a horrible break in bowling.
All right, she now does not hold the lead. It's Tammy Turner's lead by just 4 pins. We'll be back with the rest of match number 2 after these messages. And Tammy Turner will begin match number 3. Let's see if she can start out like she finished.
You know, Tammy Turner also worked during the break. Oh, yeah, I saw her lane break down there.
Big difference there, too. Lane 27, 7 strikes.
Right. 3 of them in the 10th, but that's a huge difference.
All right. Likes lane 27. Do you think Kim Adler noticed that? That's why she's forcing Tammy Turner to finish on lane 28?
It could be, too. That could be one of the reasons. Also, Kim may want to finish first, although I don't think Kim really minds finishing last, so it probably is because of the lanes.
If she was paying attention, or her husband Tommy off on the sidelines may have also said something to her. All right, Kim coming up light in her first shot. It's a 2-4-5.
Okay, now Kim told me, you see her average this week, 215.62, and she told me they were tighter for her, and if she played in the area where she played earlier in the week, around 3rd arrow or 15, that she didn't have much room to the right. If she got it to the right, it was a lot of out of bounds for her. She thought she might be able to move right of that and play right of that out of bounds area where Carolyn played, but she wasn't real comfortable there either because she thought they'd start hooking early. So when she got off the practice lane, she wasn't real comfortable. Kim actually has slightly bent knees, very low backswing. Look at that. About waist high at most. Very low to the line all the way through. Good finish, good follow through.
Big difference in her game versus Tammy Turner's between the low backswing, high backswing. The one likes to really cross the board. The other player, Kim Adler, likes to go more direct. And now Kim crossing over to the left side, leaves the 9-pin. You can see she looks a little lost. She's kind of straight, shaking her head.
She's still lost, and she has just exactly what I said. Now she's afraid to let it out there because she knows it won't come back, and so she tried to go tighter, and it's going to hook on her. she really does not have a real good shot where she's at. To see how she adjusts.
6 career 300 games. She and doubles partner Nancy Fair won earlier this year in the $80,000 Storm doubles.
Kim's goal tonight is to shoot 200 and to win a match. Now, she hasn't won a singles match on TV this year, so she said she's really looking forward to winning at least one match.
And this is her 5th appearance of 95.
There you saw the lane breakdown updated with her strike on 27.
Oh, and add 1 for lane 28. As she comes up a little high, trips the 4.
A little bit, but that was a much better shot on lane 28. She hadn't made very good shots the last couple times, so it was hard to judge if it's the lane or if it was just her in those 2 instances.
Average on TV pair 199, one of the lower averages for the finalists.
It is. Carolyn Doran was 186, but other than that, 199 was the next lowest on the TV pair.
And someone needed to tell Tammy, hey, Tammy, this was your good lane, remember? She just came up high, left the 3, 6, 10.
Just going to change balls to shoot this. Now a pin rolled around and pushed the 6 pin a little bit to the right, so there's a bigger space between the 3 and 6 than there normally would be. But she has to shoot it because a pin moved it. Hard to see it right there.
And flattens it out a little bit. Now our sideline reporter, Dana Miller-Mackey, has a little tool time player.
We're here with Marianne Dupo. Marianne, we understand that you collect Walt Disney movies. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I started about 2 years ago collecting when I roomed with Sue Neidig, and I have about 30 to 40 of them. A lot of the old-time ones I don't have, but I'm looking for them.
And what's your favorite?
Well, I have to say Lion King, because whose favorite isn't Lion King right now?
Well, and we want to ask you one other thing about your sports taping. You've helped a couple of the players this week. Can you tell us about that?
Well, I went to school and I got my degree in athletic training, and I'm just glad that I can help them when they're injured. I enjoy it. I enjoy helping them, and it makes me feel like I'm back working.
Thanks, Marianne. Back to Jan.
All right, well, back to me, I guess, huh, Jan? You can't have it yet. I'm going to talk. Kim Adler struck here in the 3rd frame, still trailing by 8 pins.
She made a good adjustment on that lane. Here's another good shot.
Oh, solid 7 pin. That would have given her the lead with a double. What a horrible break.
That was a great shot, and boy, it's heartbreaking at this point in time to have that happen. You do see it once in a while, the ball finishing so hard that it actually takes the 4 pin around the 7.
I have to mention, I threw that down to Dana Miller-Mackey. I was expecting her to talk to Marianne about remodeling their home. She has been tearing apart Alita Still's house, I guess. So it's a new job, possibly, tool time kind of thing, home improvement.
I don't know. Maybe she'll get into that.
All right, Tammy Turner right now with a reprieve since Kim Adler left that solid 7 pin. And she strikes now in the 4th frame again on lane 28, so that puzzle has been put together.
There's a score. Tammy leading by 8 pins.
Tammy not only is a great bowler, she earned her degree in biology and graduated cum laude at West Texas State University. Oh, and solid 9 pin.
Kim just left a solid 7, and now Tammy leaves a solid 9. Also the ball driving too hard. However, Tammy can consider herself a little fortunate because the 4 pin was also up and fell late. So at least she has a spare that she can easily make.
And she flattens it out for the spare. It's Tammy Turner with an 8-pin lead. We are midway through match number 3. We'll be back with the rest of it after these messages. And it's Kim Adler up in the 5th frame. You can see she defeated Tammy Turner in match play, but right now she trails her by just 8 pins. Comes up light, and there's hubby, Tommy Adler, recently married, still newlyweds, were married this past December. And Tommy travels with Kim.
Yes, he does. They travel in a motorhome, and they enjoy it.
Right now, Kim Adler would enjoy making the spare and trying to bounce back with a few strikes of her own. And she does that.
She's happy to have made that. That was a tough spare this week. It was pretty easy to miss it. If you got it a little too far left, it hooked, and if you went straighter up, it didn't get across.
All right, now she trails by 11. That 7-pin count hurt her a little bit there. She's opting for a re-rack now in 27. Capacity crowd here. Crowd's good all week, Jane?
They were. It was very nice here, and they were very hospitable to us. I wanted to thank, they provided us with a buffet every day for lunch, 3 different days, and the Penn Palace Seniors did it, and then the Huntsville Women's Bowling Association, and then the Golden Girls. It was very nice of them to do that for us, and it was delicious.
Great hospitality from the south. And hits the pocket again, but this time leaves a 4-pin.
Kim's making great shots on lane 27 and not reaping any benefits right now. That was another good shot, and a little bit high. Ball's finishing a little hard for her on that lane.
What's Tammy Turner thinking right now?
Boy, hard to tell. You know, it's a close match, but things seem to have gone her way the last match, so I'm sure right now she's just thinking make good shots.
And Kim Adler converts the 4-pin. Tammy Turner leading by 12, working on a spare. And carrying a light hit. And Tammy Turner leading by 12 pins. Kim Adler throws back-to-back spares. Tammy Turner bounces back with a strike. I'm Leila Wagner along with Jan Schmidt. We are here at AMF Pin Palace in Huntsville, Alabama. You are watching the $60,000 Rocket City Challenge. And that was a double for Tammy Turner. She just increased her lead to 22.
And she liked that one. That was an extremely light hit. Got the kick off the wall. It carried out the 5 and 7. This was the reaction to that shot. Ooh.
Kim Adler, though, boy, does she answer to that call, because she has not been lined up on lane 28, and she threw that like she had been. 4 years on tour, 3 titles. Had a phenomenal 1993 year. She was runner-up to Player of the Year, but actually led the tour in competition points.
She did. She was so consistent. And she just didn't win as many titles, but she was very, very consistent that year.
And our statistician, Lisa Wagner, was the Player of the Year in '93. And also won her 29th national title just last week. Congratulations again, Lisa.
And there was the intensity in Kim's face on that shot. She said that's something she'd been lacking some of the time, not being intense and aggressive enough on every single shot. So that's what she worked on this week.
And the intensity has picked back up now in this match. Tammy Turner still holds her lead by 22.
And Tammy's been working on, she also worked with David Smith and Del Ballard over the break, relaxing her arm swing. She felt very inconsistent. She felt she was spraying the ball, as she put it, all over the place. So she worked on relaxing her arm swing, and she feels that's keeping her more consistent.
Well, Tammy, along with Carolyn and Kathy Doran, all travel together. Use the same coaches, I guess, as well. They bowled, all 3 of them bowled for West Texas State University. All were all Americans.
And Kathy Doran right now is in the truck.
That's right.
Doing a fine job getting our graphics up on screen along with Lisa.
Kim Adler needs this one. And does not carry the 8-pin.
Light hit. She's very frustrated right now. It's really tough to go out on a TV show and know you have to make something happen because you don't feel comfortable with your shot.
And husband Tommy, you can just, you know, the heartache that he is feeling for his wife, Kim. All right, that was the spare in the ninth, but it's a 33-pin lead for Tammy Turner. Kim Adler can only shoot 214. Tammy Turner needs a mark. Would you say? Maybe 210?
No, she won't even need a mark.
Just good count?
Mm-hmm.
And when things go rough, they really go rough. As Kim comes up high.
You know, Kim is bowling so well this year. She's just really had some tough breaks on television. And she's got to overcome it. You know, she had an opportunity recently to work with Dr. Eric Glasser, a sports psychologist, working on staying more relaxed and some breathing techniques and, you know, finding ways to overcome these type of bad breaks that you get.
Kim Adler finishes up with 188. Tammy Turner already has that in the bag. Comes up high, but it's all academic at this point. Kim Adler finishes up third, takes home a check for $3,432. That'll be used for a little gas money, I'm sure. Get her on to Ocean Springs, Mississippi next week. Tammy Turner converts the spare. When we come back, we'll take a look at our other finalists. Stay with us. And it's the championship match of the Rocket City Challenge. Michelle Mullen and Tammy Turner about to battle it out here for the title. Michelle Mullen from Chicago, Illinois, the current Team USA coach. Matter of fact, she's going next week to coach the team in Denver, Colorado.
Yes, she is, for the Olympic Festival. She's opted not to bowl instead.
Coming up through the nose, not the kind of shot you want to open up the championship match with.
Now, she's opted to start this match, which means she's going to finish and have all the pressure. I would assume she has a very good shot on lane 28. I don't know why she would want... This means Tammy's going to finish on lane 27, which is her good lane. So I don't... She either wasn't paying attention to that, or Michelle feels she has a much better shot herself on lane 28.
All right, she takes two. Opens up with 9 now in frame number 1.
And as I said, lane 27, better for her. She has 10 strikes on that lane, only 7 on 28, and also the 1 split on lane 28.
And I don't know, Pierce 28 now. She definitely caught up 28 there last match because she only had 2 strikes in her first match on that lane, and then she hit it 5 times last game.
She did. She wound up lining it up quite a bit, but she still is lined up on the other lane. You know, was making good shots on both lanes actually last game.
High gain this week, 279. A few 290s shot. That was the highest gains. No 300s. And she doubles. Trying to get that second national title. Tammy Turner won her first national title last year at the $50,000 Claremore Classic. And this lady right here has bowled very well in Claremore also. She finished second there this year, second there the year before. She lost to Tammy Turner.
Yes, she did. She likes that center very much.
So these two players have met one other time already in '95 for a title.
Now Michelle's playing a little bit deeper or tighter inside than Tammy is, not quite crossing as many boards.
Boy, very consistent.
That's pretty interesting. You don't normally see the averages that close from year to year.
And picks up the 4-7.
Here's Michelle start. Look at how she sits back. All of her weight is back, but her shoulders are actually tilted. See how she pushes her weight forward now? She has a 5-step approach, pushes the ball in her second step. Kind of a medium backswing, about shoulder high. Very low finish position. Really comes around the ball. She has a good, strong release. She's actually worked on that backswing. It's much higher than it was about a year to 2 years ago.
9 years on tour. I'm sure she's made a lot of changes in those 9 years with her game. I know she's worked very hard in her mental game as well. She has 3 national titles. Tammy Turner right now trying for her second. Defeated Michelle 246 to 207 in match play. You heard her say, not good.
Now, she knew that. She pulled that shot left to target from the very beginning.
It's amazing how you feel that, and these players know it immediately.
You know, a lot of the times you know it before that ball comes off your hand, and there's a few players out here that can stop themselves, but not very often. It's kind of hard to do when you have the momentum going.
One of the greats, Dick Weber, was always referred to as a great foul line adjuster. He felt things going bad from the get-go. He could stop himself or just make that quick correction right there at the line.
Now, Tammy, you know, I talked to her about her goals, what her goals are now, and she said they're changing all the time. And basically, she said it's because she's learning what it takes to be out here. She said had a dream since she was 9 years old to be one of the best on tour, only now she realizes how hard it really is to be one of the best on tour.
And she is one of the best right now. So Tammy and Jeff McCorvey, the general manager here at AMF Penn Palace, what a great time he put on for the ladies this week. It's the second year we've been to Huntsville, and hopefully we'll be back next year.
And Timmy bowled in this tournament, and she, as a matter of fact, will be at that Olympic Festival bowling. She was the alternate, and Lisa Vint could not bowl, so she'll be taking her spot.
Well, good luck to Timmy from all of us out here. How did she fare in this event?
It wasn't her best performance, but
it's nerve-wracking to get out there with the pros.
It sure is. She tried very hard, and she definitely did not embarrass herself. She did a fine job.
All right, Michelle Mullen trailing by 9, but she can take the lead by 1 with a strike here in the 5th frame. You heard her yell, hook ball.
You know, she's a little bit confused, and when she warmed up on this pair, I asked her how they were for her, and she said they're very touchy. I said, you know, do you have out of bounds to your right? She said, well, there's a lot of sand traps out there. So in other words, the advantage golfers have over us is they can see those sand traps and try to work around them. Unfortunately, you have to read your ball reaction to try and find where those spots of oil are.
Well, Michelle Mullen converts the spare. Is that confidence we see on Tammy Turner's face? You'll have to wait till we come back to find out. We're back now in the championship match of the $60,000 Rocket City Challenge. We're at AMF Penn Palace. And Tammy Turner can increase her lead here to 21 with a strike here in the 5th. And she does it. And Dana Miller-Mackey is down with Kim Adler to discuss life on the road.
Kim, we understand that you're part of our motorhome crew out in the back. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
We bought a new motorhome in March. We had one in January previous to that. The brand new one's got a slide-out living room, dining area. It's great. And we do a lot of, we just park it behind the bowling center, and it works out great.
Well, and also I understand that you're a collector of glass apples. Can you tell me about that?
I started that about 3 years ago, and it's built up to about 15 to 20 of them. I have even a Waterford crystal apple that my husband got me for Christmas. So I always like to look at each city that we go to, looking for a new glass apple.
Thanks for stopping by. Back to you, Leila.
Thanks, Dana. Thanks, Kim. It's back to work now for Tammy Turner, as she has left a 4-pin, came up a little high in that shot. Still leads, though, by 20 pins. Michelle Mullen's got her work cut out for her.
And Tammy, as you notice, is changing balls for all of her spares. She also flattens them out, and she's worked at that. A lot of the ladies now are starting to do that more and more.
Both players with very consistent television pair averages, both of them averaging 199 exactly. Hurry, I'll carry. Michelle Mullen has a great statistic for the championship match. She's been there 6 times, and she's won 3 out of the 6 times she's been there, and yet she's only made, well, 17 career television appearances.
Well, Michelle's you know, there are certain conditions Michelle really excels on, and she's on top all the time, and there's certain conditions she doesn't. But she does have a very consistent game, and she's always up there cashing. And she makes it to the top. She obviously is very good at winning, because 50% is a good percentage. It's tough to win from the top seed.
Halfway through the match, Michelle Mullen trailing by 21, but there's still time. Comes up light on lane 27. That has been the mystery lane for Michelle.
Yeah, that's obviously why she chose to finish on lane 28. She's not getting the ball to finish on 27 right now.
Started bowling when she was 14 years old. Oh, chops the 2-4 off the 5, and you know she's disappointed. She's already has 1 second place finish this year.
And I mentioned earlier how tough that spare was this week when Kim Adler was so happy that she picked it up. It is a tough spare. She changed balls, tried to go straight at it, but it was hard this week to pick those up.
And Tammy Turner sees the victory, knows it's close. She leads by 35, taking an extra deep breath.
And this time she jumped all over the opening, as opposed to when Marianne left the 7-10 and came back and opened in return. This time she got right on it, and if she didn't have that confidence like you mentioned going to break, I'm sure she's getting it now.
Oh, solid 9 again. This is something that we see a lot now with these hooking balls, the resin balls. They just drive so hard through the pocket. There is no deflection there.
You know, it's interesting the different lines these players are playing, because Tammy has the ball finishing a little bit too hard on lane 27. So did Kim Adler, leaving a solid 7 and a solid 4. But now Michelle, the ball's coming up light for her on lane 27.
Is Michelle playing deeper?
Yes, she is deeper, and they must be tighter in there comparatively. The lanes themselves, 27 must be tighter that deep than 28.
Can Michelle move out? Would you suggest you think she should move out a little bit? Or
boy, she's stayed there all week. I don't think she's going to do it.
it's a tough change to make when you led the tournament doing one thing. Carried the light hit.
You know, Michelle is on Ebonite's staff. It was a light hit. We're going to take a look anyway. See how it came between the 3rd and 4th arrows, about 17th board, finishing real light, just tripping the 7 off the wall.
Ball really never looked like it turned over. It was sliding. 35-pin lead now for Tammy Turner.
And as I mentioned, Michelle, Ebonite, ball staff, all of our players tonight were on staff. Carolyn and Michelle both on Ebonite, and Tammy and Kim both on Brunswick, and you mentioned Marianne being on AMF staff.
And I know the frustration that this lady is feeling right now.
For those of you at home, she is not making the same shot. She is trying to make adjustments on this lane, and they just aren't working.
I definitely think with the lanes being the way they were and how you mentioned in the opening with all the balls that it had to be a disadvantage to be the top seed tonight. Here, Tammy Turner has come up through 3 matches, had to feel very comfortable now in this pair.
Definitely. And Michelle has to come out and in, you know, her 8 warm-up shots, she has to figure out exactly where she's going to play and what she's going to do, when really she wasn't confident yesterday in where she played.
Leaves the baby split, the 3-10. And with all those balls that we saw earlier to choose from, with 8 practice balls, it's not a lot of time to pick the right ball.
No, it's not. Now Tammy's going to go to her other ball. She's going to try and flatten this ball out so the ball will slide to the right, hit the right side of the 3-pin and deflect into the 10-pin.
If she spares, she wins it. And she does. She says yes, she knows it. You can tell she's smiling now. Michelle Mullen looks at the scoreboard. Championship number 2 for this lady. She won in her first year out as a rookie. She has just now won in her second year, and it's been a struggle for her. Like we talked about earlier, she has only made half of the finals this year. And now to pop in a win there, that's got to add some confidence to your game.
And that did it. She only needed 4 pins on that shot.
Tammy Turner, the winner here at the AMF Pin Palace. And 6 pin sits in the channel, but it doesn't matter at this point. Highest finish so far this year was 3rd in the $60,000 California Classic. But now she has topped that 3rd place finish with a win here tonight. Says yes. Michelle Mullen, second of the year. She takes home $5,400. She says, yeah, sure. They're all going to go now. Oh, and tears of joy. Well, we'll be back to talk with our champion and the rest of the crew here at the Rocket City Challenge. Don't go away. The championship round finals of the $60,000 Rocket City Challenge are being brought to you by Sports Cream. When you overdo it, massage in sports creams for fast relief of sore muscles without embarrassing odor. And by Ebonite, where advanced technology has striking results. And by Fatball, makers of hammer bowling balls and accessories. Available in fine pro shops everywhere. We're back with your champion, Tammy Turner. Final score of the championship match, 214 to 181. Tammy, how many bowling balls did you go through?
Only 1 tonight, which is unusual. All week it was about 3 every pair. So.
And in practice too, only 1?
About 10 in practice.
All right, and to present the trophy, Jeff McCorvey, the general manager here at AMF Pin Palace. Jeff?
Congratulations, Tammy. You bowled really well all week long, and we had confidence all the way. On behalf of Pin Palace and all the bowling fans in Alabama, I'd like to present you this trophy as the 1995 Rocket City champion. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
All right, and to come in with the check, the big money, $10,800, George Carlisle, the cluster manager here for AMF. George?
Thank you very much. Tammy, I know the trophy's pretty, but the stuff that really spins is $10,800 on behalf of Samstown and LPBT champion the tournament. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Enjoyed having you here this week.
Thank you.
Hope to see you back next year.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank Jeff and Timmy McCorvey for being nice last year and this year, and George and the staff here at Pin Palace. And also I wanted to send a special thanks to the Huntsville Women's Bowling Association and the leagues in Huntsville for being just great hosts for us all week. Thank you.
Jan, I know you have a question for Tammy.
Tammy, you told me earlier that it's been a dream since you were 9 years old to be one of the best out here on tour, and you're finding out now what it takes to be the best. What does it take?
A lot of luck, that's for sure.
Any hard work?
A little bit here and there, yeah, but the break's got to go your way, and everything has to come together at once for you to get to the top.
You've made a lot of changes, Tammy. I know just in your thought process now, what are some of the things that helped you?
Well, I think I need to stop settling for just making the top 24, because I don't think any of the top ladies on tour ever settled for just getting a check, and that should be one of your goals to the top. But I'm just going to keep striving and striving and do the best I can, and that's all I can do.
Obviously, one of the goals have to be Bowler of the Year, right?
Well, maybe not this year, but I'll give it a go.
How's that shoulder injury doing?
It's doing okay. I've been maintaining it pretty good. I take care of myself a lot better than I did a year ago, so I think it's going to be okay.
What happened on a couple of those shots on lane 28? One kind of sailed. Did you just lose it, or?
Well, usually the first couple of shots of every match on TV, I'm just really nervous, and I double dribble every time in the first few frames, it seems, but I get nervous and I get real fast with my feet, and I hit my ankle on the one shot. It's nerves.
Well, you performed well in the clutch, though.
Tammy, you bowled Michelle Mullen prior for tournament victory. How did you think about that?
It was the first thing I thought of, and I was going to make a joke about it before we started, but then I realized I didn't think she'd find it very funny.
All right, congratulations to the newest champion of the Rocket City Challenge. For Jan Schmidt and Dana Miller-Mackey, I'm Leila Wagner. Don't forget to join us in Ocean Springs, Mississippi for the Samstown Tunica Classic. So long, everyone.